She was hooked on this energy, and she ain't never wasting that. Yeah, I know she likes this stuff. Now she likes her sisters out. Yeah.
We had 66 full attendance for this cohort. We had 45 attempts to do the exam for this cohort. And then we have 28 graduates for this cohort. Wow! You guys look good. You look good. You look good. What are we made after this? It's my third birthday week. What are we made after? I cannot believe it has taken 5 cohorts to have our founder narrating about Bitcoin Dada. Okay? She's the queen of the Scorpions, and she is the founder of Bitcoin Dada. Please stand up. Let's stand up as to welcome Marcel, Lorraine, and Diego. We're going to hear about Bitcoin Dada, the journey, the emotions, the rawness, the beauty of it from Marcel. And I'm so jealous that it's happening on the 5th cohort graduation. Like, hey, cohort 1, 2, 3, 4. But, no, I'm skipping. I'm not going with personal. Anyways, we're going to hear from these amazing ladies. And the next time I say you clap for Marcel and you don't clap, you go home. Thank you.
Yeah, we're here today myself with Cohort. I'd like to congratulate you. This is amazing. Maybe for those who don't know me, I'm Nalin Sumba, and I am humbled to introduce myself today. And it's so fascinating, Marcel. I've been with you throughout. It's been a year plus, but I have never had your story, the Bitcoin Dada story. So just like the rest of you, I'll also be hearing this for the very first time.
Interesting.
Yeah, so Marcel, it's been an interesting journey so far. And maybe if I can tell the people here, I remember when I used to get into Twitter spaces when we were shouting about Bitcoin on Twitter, and it will only just be either me or Marcel. And at that time, I guess I had my own way into getting into Bitcoin, but I did not know how you got into Bitcoin. Maybe you can start us there, Marcel.
Okay, wow, so much energy. I have to take a sauce bath after this. So yeah, so my journey, well, I didn't become like a Bitcoiner immediately, right? Like many Bitcoiners before me, I got into the crypto space. Because one, as an entrepreneur, but if you know me, you know I'm a hustler. No. Yeah, like every other Kenyan, we're trying to make an extra bag. So I'm an entrepreneur, so what I wanted to do was make an extra bag. I also wanted to figure out how to run my businesses with better fees, know how to charge my clients without having extremely high fees for them. So when I got introduced into the crypto space, it was through a friend. I think she's here, Juliana. Yeah. So Juliana was the one who actually recommended me to this particular company. They were hosting an event here in Nairobi. They were actually selling breaking grounds for their product. So I organized that particular event, and it was at this particular event that I heard about the concept of decentralized finance, right? So as an entrepreneur, I mean, decentralized finance, no extravagant taxes, right? Being able to trade with people outside your scope, right? Being able to do everything basically without having to worry, am I making losses and all that. So I was really interested about the concept of decentralized finance, and I decided, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to learn, this is what I want to get into. So I did, like many of us, I'm not sure, like for now I think it's a bit easier for you guys, but back then in 2018, we had very few role models, and especially when it came to females, right? We didn't have a lot of education platforms or educational communities, right? So I got into shitty projects. I lost money, but then again I also made money. I will not lie. So yeah, yeah. So I actually made money and also lost money. So it was the uncertainty that got me to thinking I need to focus on one particular project, which for me was Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was the only project and the only coin that I had disappointed me so far. Because I remember investing in different coins. I remember investing in different coins, and I would wake up in the morning, that company doesn't no longer exist and all that, right? So yeah, it was tough, but like you invest, like the last one we did, I think I invested like 250 G's, and then all of a sudden that company was like, you know what, because it's the bear market, so many excuses. So it's the bear market, so we're not performing, Bitcoin has gone down, so our project has also gone down, blah blah blah. So I decided, okay, you know, I'm tired. I also don't have the bandwidth to actually study all the crypto coins, right, in the space. So I chose Bitcoin, and luckily enough, I think it was fate, but by the time we were actually coming out of the COVID-19, I got also to organize the first Bitcoin event in Kenya after COVID. And it was Brian, who is in this house, ironically, who actually called me and told me, hey, I need your skill set as an event organizer. There's some Bitcoiners coming into Kenya and they need to organize an event. So it was at that particular event that the idea about Bitcoin Dada came in. So I decided, you know, enough was enough. It's time to do something about this, yeah? So it was either continue complaining about it or actually finding a solution to it. And who better to find a solution than a female, right? So that's how Bitcoin Dada came into being.
You fascinated me. I'll take you back to what was the thinking, getting 250,000 and investing in a coin?
Money. So, okay, like many shitty projects, I'm sorry if you're a crypto guy, but this one is here and brings on. I'm sorry, so like many crypto projects, they normally promise you like millions. Yeah. And as a millennial, you know, as millennials who've gone through, you know, financial crisis, you know, we actually pay for the mistakes of our parents and our grandparents, right? So most millennials are just living on a hand-to-mouth basis. So this was like an opportunity for me to be able to like better my life and the people around me. So that was my thinking. If I can actually get even like double or triple this, you know, and actually invest in my event business, then it will actually change my life.
Personally, I never had the opportunity to get into all the coins. Because only when I got into it, it was more like it didn't take long to figure out, you know, all these things. I was running away from the risk factor, the centralized risk factor, so I dived right into Bitcoin. So, what is the like due diligence? Do you just look at a coin, or you hear a coin is coming into the market and you say you want to get into it?
Okay, so this is the thing. Education, and that is one of the reasons why actually the thing for this particular event is education is very important, right? Education is key for any type of adoption, whether it's tech, anything, right? So the kind of education that we were given, it was a lot of misinformation. And cryptocurrencies being like a foreign concept, we will actually soak in whatever we were given. So you didn't have like somewhere else to go and counter check like this information that we're being given. Is it correct? Is it not correct and all that? And then again, remember, we did not have like role models as of now. We didn't have a lot of people participating back then. The hype back then was the same way we have like metaverse and AI, like everybody is a VC of AI and metaverse. You talk to somebody, they're like, oh, I'm investing in this particular metaverse, and it's really interesting for the young ones. So back then it was the same thing. Crypto has just come. We are seeing like blockchain companies and all that. And being a young lady, I didn't want to be left behind. I'm not really scared of taking risk. I'm that one person who can actually jump into something. Whatever happens, happens. I would rather take a loss than be actually left behind. That's the kind of person I am. And I think that is one of the reasons why I actually jumped into this. So I soaked in the information, the wrong information, the misinformation that we actually got. And I decided, okay, this is it. I'm going to invest regardless of what happens. I used to do forex trading, for those who don't know.
That's interesting. I tried it. I failed.
Interestingly enough, I was a forex trader. More interesting to that, I was doing indices. Many of funny indices. Yeah, I was that good. Yeah. I think, okay, I want to drop in the Scorpio factor, but I wouldn't do that. So, yeah, so I was doing indices at the time. And then again, like I told you, most of my investments back then, like I was losing money, right? And Bitcoin was the only coin that had not lost money on my side, right? So I was like,
interesting because also from Forex, I remember looking at the Bitcoin graph. Because you put money in either USD, JPY, or you put money in any other coin, and you have to be there constantly looking at the graph. But for Bitcoin, I realized you could leave it for a few days, and
you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to like have the stress of, will I wake up tomorrow in the morning and the graph has gone down, you got losses and all that. So because I was looking at the graphs and I'm really actually good at it. So I was looking, and I still do that, and we are on a correction level. So for the ones who are, anyway. so because Bitcoin was the only project that had not disappointed me, I felt like there has to be some truth in Bitcoin. You know, I was checking online, and everybody's just Bitcoin. So I was like, let me try and figure out what Bitcoin is as opposed to these other cryptocurrencies. And again, because I don't have the bandwidth. I don't think any human being has the bandwidth to actually learn all the cryptocurrencies. So I chose Bitcoin because one, it was the major, like the mother crypto, right? So that's how I ended up in Bitcoin. And the good thing, I think, again, like I said, it was all about faith that after COVID, actually got this gig to organize. And then we have You've Met Paco, there's a lot of energy. There's also
you were there when Paco came to
yeah. There's also Master
I watch videos.
who is toxic, you know. So I think also that so that also like pushed me, convinced me Bitcoin is also the way because of that particular community that was present at that particular time. So I decided, as much as I didn't have like a role model and presentation, I didn't have like a guiding light, I can be that to other ladies. You know, you are an African female, you understand our challenges, right? You're also African, and maybe I'll talk about this later on, but you're also African, so understand also the challenges that we go through as Africans. So for me, I don't believe like if we want the liberation that we seek as Africans, not just as females, we can do it with one-sided gender. We need everybody on board. We need females, we need males, we need also our kids. And if you want that, who better to educate than a female, right? And speaking about that, that is why with the collaboration of Machankura, but if you don't know, we have that is why you always see Machankura everywhere. So we have collaborated with Machankura, and we've been visiting campuses, we've been training youths, and we don't discriminate whether it's female or male. So I decided if we want hyper-Bitcoinization, if we want to spread the word, if we want to liberate ourselves as Africans, we need everybody on board. We cannot wait. We can no longer wait on the males to do this for us. This is a battle not for fighting, physical fighting, but we actually can do this through Bitcoin. So that's why I decided, okay, enough is enough. Whether I know what I'm doing or not, it has to happen. I would rather die on the field trying than just watching and say, you know, I wish I could have done this, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
It's a good job you've done so far. I've been watching you all through. I'm also impressed by the far that you've gone. And maybe you can tell us how long do the course take? Maybe for those who are new here, how do you take the classes? How do you decide on how the students learn and what they learn on?
Okay. All right. So for those who don't know what Bitcoin Dada is, or this is your first time interacting with us, so Bitcoin Dada basically is a non-profit initiative that focuses on empowering the African female through financial education. Of course, we do focus on Bitcoin because Bitcoin don't miles now.
Yeah, true.
Right? Yeah. So we have like a 6-week program for the ladies. So the only qualification that you need to have is be an African female, right? And of course over 18 years old. So do your application as long as you follow through whatever is there, and then you get into the system. We have our classes every Tuesdays and Thursdays in the evening to cater for the employed, to cater for the mothers as well, and everybody else, for the students as well. So after the program, you get to have your exams, and then you also get to have the graduation, what we're doing today. What else? Yeah, so you need to be very active in the group. For those who are students, you know me, yeah?
There's been instances where, from people I know, that like learning Bitcoin is very boring. And I was listening to a conversation in a conference I attended where it was a content creator who's trying to bring out Bitcoin education in a way that can be fun. I keep on saying in Kenya we have lots of people in TikTok and Instagram who are, unfortunately, their attention is stolen by a lot of nonsense. They could be learning about stuff that could help them. Instead of people complaining, the government, inflation, they could find out ways of knowing there's an option. And you chose the online way. And at least with Bitcoin Dada, you can advertise that girls with interest can join you. Do you think there's a way we can be able to create content or create education such that we can attract the attention of this population, which is actually huge on this platform?
I think the biggest mistake that we do as educators and Bitcoin educators is trying to have like every content be too technical. So what we try at Bitcoin Dada is actually try to make every particular information that we give or our education system to be relatable to the things that the girls can actually relate to. For example, if you're talking about inflation, I mean, females love to shop, you know, so the best example would be if you had like 10,000 Kenya shillings back in 2018 and 10,000 Kenya shillings right now. That is something they can actually relate to, and it can bring into their head like inflation is actually real and it's actually happening. The other example that I was actually giving them is when we actually traveling and you need to buy the dollars, because you can't get out, you know, you can't really get around that. When you go to the bureaus, that is when you actually understand your currency, your fiat is shit. Yeah. Shit. Shit. I'm saying that 3 times because that happened to me. When were you in Salvador?
Last week?
Last week. Very sure in El Salvador. The man in the house. Yeah, so I actually went to buy dollars and I had like bundles of Kenya shillings. And the Indian, no, not to be like, I'm not being racist when I say the Indian lady or the Asian lady, like, she was like, you know, I'm giving you like this amount. And there's nothing I can do about it. And I literally felt like crying. And I had to share this in the group and they were like, oh my God, this is actually real. This is actually real. And there was a time we were also having a class. One of the Bitcoiners gifted me a very funny gift. And Argentina, is it like pesos? Yeah. You remember that class? Was it cohort 5 or cohort 4? 5. Yeah. He actually tore up a note for them to understand how serious is it. Because their fiat is worth nothing. And you know, when we got into this class, they were all excited. I had like a bundle. Why didn't I carry that particular bundle? I had like a bundle, and the ladies were like, "Oh my God, congratulations, Marcel! Oh my God!" It was the first thing I told them. Like, I got a gift from one of these guys, you know, and they saw the bundle and they were like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky! Somebody gifted you that bundle." And then I ended up throwing it up, and they're like, "Oh my God!" So they actually get to understand that fiat is actually worth nothing, right? So having content that they can relate to appeals to the masses. And I think that is one of the reasons why Bitcoin Dada is actually successful, in that the ladies can come and relate the education of the information that we're giving them to what is happening, and see why we are saying Bitcoin is actually hope for Africa, right? And hope for every individual, because not only just Africans who are suffering. If you're on TikTok, you see, is it threads? What do we call them on TikTok? Reels? Stitches? Is it stitches? Oh my God, am I that old? Anyway. So we've seen like trends. We've seen trends of people from outside the West. They're complaining, you know, I'm buying garbage paper at $10, which is practically crazy. Imagine buying karatasia takataka. Unanunua $10 is like 1300 right now. 1500. It's crazy. So it's not just Africans, it's actually globally. Sindio. Of course, we feel the effect more than the West, right? So I think for every educator in this house, you have to leave the technical, not really leave it, but try and relate whatever you're teaching to what is happening on the ground. That makes sense to them and actually understand why Bitcoin is important. It's one thing saying Bitcoin is hope for Africa, Bitcoin is better than any other cryptocurrencies. And it's one thing explaining to them why Bitcoin is actually better than any other cryptocurrency, right?
The education front. There's been instances where from people I know that like learning Bitcoin is very boring. And I was listening to a conversation in a conference I attended where it was a content creator who's trying to bring out Bitcoin education in a way that can be fun. I keep on saying in Kenya we have lots of people in TikTok and Instagram who are, unfortunately, their attention is stolen by a lot of nonsense. They could be learning about stuff that could help them. Instead of people complaining, the government, inflation, they could find out ways of knowing there's an option. And you chose the online way. And at least with Bitcoin Dada you can advertise. The girls with interest can join you. Do you think there's a way we can be able to create content or create education such that we can attract the attention of this population, which is actually huge on this platform?
I think the biggest mistake that we do as educators and Bitcoin educators is trying to have like every content be too technical. So what we try at Bitcoin Dada is actually try to make every particular information that we give or our education system to be relatable to the things that the girls can actually relate to. For example, if you're talking about inflation, I mean, females love to shop, you know, so the best example would be if you had like 10,000 Kenya shillings back in 2018 and 10,000 Kenya shillings right now. That is something they can actually relate to, and it can click into their head like inflation is actually real and it's actually happening. The other example that I was actually giving them is when we actually traveling and you need to buy the dollars, because you can't get out, you know, you can't really get around that. When you go to the bureaus, that is when you actually understand your currency, your fiat is shit. Yeah. Shit. Shit. I'm saying that 3 times because that happened to me. When were you in El Salvador?
Last week?
Last week. Pretty sure in El Salvador. The man in the house. Yeah, so I actually went to buy dollars and I had like bundles of Kenya shillings. And the Indian, no, not to be like, I'm not being racist when I say the Indian lady or the Asian lady, like, she was like, you know, I'm giving you like this amount. And there's nothing I can do about it. And I literally felt like crying. And I had to share this in the group, and they were like, oh my God, this is actually real. This is actually real. And there was a time we were also having a class. One of the Bitcoiners gifted me a very funny gift. And Argentina, is it like pesos?
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember that class? Was it cohort 5 or cohort 4? Yeah. He actually tore up a note for them to understand how serious is it, because their fiat is worth nothing. And you know, when we got into this class, they were all excited. I had like a bundle. Why didn't I carry that particular bundle? I had like a bundle, and the ladies were like, oh my God, congratulations, Marcel. Oh my God. Because the first thing I told them, like, I got a gift from one of these guys, you know, and they saw the bundle and they were like, oh my God, you're so lucky, somebody gifted you that bundle. And then I ended up tearing it up and they're like, oh my God. So they actually get to understand that fiat is actually worth nothing, right? So having content that they can relate to appeals to the masses. And I think that is one of the reasons why Bitcoin Dada is actually successful, in that the ladies can come and relate the education of the information that we're giving them to what is happening, and see why we are saying Bitcoin is actually hope for Africa, right? And hope for every individual, because not only just Africans who are suffering. If you're on TikTok, you see, is it threads? What do we call them on TikTok? Reels? Stitches? Is it stitches? Oh my God, am I that old? Anyway. So we've seen like trends. We've seen trends of people from outside the West. They're complaining, you know, I'm buying garbage paper at $10, which is practically crazy. Imagine buying karatasia takataka. Unanunua $10 is like 1,300 right now.
1500.
It's crazy. So it's not just Africans, it's actually globally. Single. Of course, we feel the effect more than the West, right? So I think for every educator in this house, you have to leave the technical, not really leave it, but try and relate whatever you're teaching to what is happening on the ground. That makes sense to them and actually understand why Bitcoin is important. It's one thing saying Bitcoin is hope for Africa, Bitcoin is better than any other cryptocurrencies. And it's one thing explaining to them why Bitcoin is actually better than any other cryptocurrency. Right?
With the children. So are you going to be focusing on more wholesome education and dealing with the issues that women are facing in Kenya, Africa?
Of course, so it's not just going to be Kenya. We are thinking, and that is one of the reasons why the Ugandan ladies are here, of course, led by
welcome, Uganda.
Lady Eddie. Again, like I said, females go through a lot, right? And one of the CSR that we did last time was end period poverty. And if you do not know, I know the way we are raised culture-wise, men are not even supposed to be in such conversations, you know. So sometimes I don't really even blame the men, because we are raised in a certain way that when you talk about certain topics, you're not supposed to tell them, like we're not supposed to talk them openly. It's embarrassing, it's shaming, it's not for everybody, right? So what we will be doing going forward is trying to reach out to these communities, you know, helping them in whatever way we can. It doesn't matter whether they actually take on Bitcoin or not, but the key thing for us is, as the community, as the larger Bitcoin community helps Bitcoin Dada, we also get to help our communities, because at the end of the day, Bitcoin Dada is a community that tries to help everybody that's around them. So I am hoping to see, I'm hoping that I'll get like a ripple effect, which is already happening. With the help of Edith and also Brendan, they will be visiting an orphanage in Uganda that will be doing the same thing that we are doing. And for me, that is success. I measure my success by the people, by the amount of people who are successful around me. So it's not just about myself, it's about everybody in the community. So if I can make one lady, for example, as Sabina, help somebody back at her home, then that for me is my measure of success.
I don't know how much time we have left, but Oh, okay. So maybe what I want to talk about the follow-up. We've had a couple of cohorts graduate, and I've seen some ladies like Inez, Sabina. How do you carry out the follow-up once the ladies are out of the group? Do you set them up somewhere? And have you had challenges with that? Yeah.
Very, very, very good question. And I'm actually excited for this because we just recently launched our mentorship program. So initially it was just about giving them the education, and then they still be part of the Bitcoin Dada committee, but they figure it out as they, go on. But now we have like a mentorship program, but again, it's an open source. If you're interested, then you join the course. So what we're doing is trying to sharpen the already existing skills that they have. So for example, if you're a marketer, we have Sabina, who is a content creator. We have Natalie, who is my PA. We have Adele, who is our community manager. So they all have different skill sets. And very soon we're going to introduce other people in the Bitcoin space who's going to help us with this, including I'm going to be so she'll be taking the financial sector. Wow. Yeah. So and we have more Bitcoiners we will be announcing on our website. So what we're doing is sharpening the already existing skills for them to be able to actually work in the Bitcoin community or the Bitcoin space, right? So a very good example, of course, I have my team here with me. Another example is Sharon, who just got employed by Bitrust. She is the first beneficiary of our mentorship program. So, yeah, so this was like just a test. I wasn't really sure if it was going to work, but the fact that Bitrust took on Sharon, for me, it's like a go ahead, like it's a green light for me. And I know with the bull run coming. Oh yeah, so I know with the bull run, if it happens, right? I'm not telling anybody go and buy tokens. I mean, oh my God. Yeah, because there's going to be a bull run. But I know with the bull run coming, there's going to be a lot of companies popping up, and they also have liquid, right, to be able to pay you ladies. So this is the perfect time to actually make use of the skills and get employed by these Bitcoin companies. Yeah, so if somebody like Watai needs content creator or a co-founder even, because you also need females in power positions. No. Yes. Yeah, and I believe we can also contribute to this. The other thing is what we're also trying to do is encourage them to actually have their own companies. I'm not sure if Roslyn is here. Roslyn founded her own company, which is called Speech Biashara. But what she's doing is onboarding the same way. I think that it's almost the same thing Gorilla Sats is doing. Yeah. Onboarding businesses onto the Bitcoin standard. Yeah, so she's doing that. Very soon she might be launching a book as well. So, wow! Yeah. So I'm also trying to encourage them to be, to have their own individual success, not just Bitcoin Dada, but they can grow, get away from the mother's nest and be somebody, because you do need a lot of female participation in this space.
I agree on that.
I'm sorry. Oh, and also, let me just brag up on this. I also have one of our students who will be performing in the, not participating in the hackathon. I'm really proud of my students. But tell them it's not the voting that counts. Yeah, it's the proof of work. So I'm really proud that we have Bitcoin Dadas who actually contributing into such spaces. So that is now after Bitcoin Dada program.
Once again, I remember the first conversation we had, I think it was in December in Ghana, and I told you I envisioned Bitcoin Dada going Africa. So I'm very happy because I'm literally in the space with you watching as you progress, and I also envision very many great things. But that could be what I envision for you. Maybe tell us, what do you envision for yourself?
Oh wow. Okay, so I think my biggest dream would be to have Bitcoin Dada without myself, right? Have Bitcoin Dada Uganda, have Bitcoin Dada South Africa, have Bitcoin Cameroon. That is independent of myself. So if ever at one point I decide like I want to do something else or go back to events or even crypto, Bitcoin Dada can continue running. You know, so I think that's my biggest. Of course, me, but my girls know me. So yeah, so if I can get to that level where I can have Bitcoin Dada in South Africa running on its own, just the way we have like the Bitcoin network, whether Satoshi is there or not, it will continue, right? So if I can have Bitcoin Dada in South Africa, Cameroon, Nigeria, whichever, that would be like my biggest achievement. And having seen like everything that we've been doing in Kenya being duplicated in all other countries and even better than what we've been doing, I think that will be my biggest achievement. And I'm so happy that we are starting this off with the Ugandan ladies. So I can't really wait to see how it goes because I want to get to the level where the BTC Dada Uganda will be independent of myself and whatever we are doing. And if I wake up, for example, if I wake up tomorrow and decide like I'm leaving Bitcoin Dada, Sabina and the rest can take over Bitcoin Dada and it will continue to run without me. That's it.
Congratulations to Cohort 5. Welcome to the Bitcoin space. It's very exciting. Maybe I can also tell you as a female in the space. Consistency is only the thing. I just started, yeah. Same, she can also tell me the same thing. We were just consistent. We would show up at Twitter spaces 9, 10, and listen to people talk. Most of the times, just also learn from people, be open to learning, and one last thing, be humble and start that. So that's
Thank you so much. Maybe just one question before we end this. To you, of course. Again, like you said, you've been in this space for like 1 year and I've seen you grow as well. How has it been for you? Like the journey, like leave alone the advice that you want to give them, like how has it been for you? And what actually made you get into this space?
So, never really mentioned it. For me, I got into Bitcoin mostly on the philosophical side of things. I was looking for freedom. I was exhausted with my 9 to 5, and maybe if I can tell you, I used to work with the Kenya Revenue Authority, and my father was not very impressed. My family was not very impressed when I told them I'm leaving the company to join Bitcoin because one, the perception for them in Bitcoin was it's a scam, and but what really pushed me forward, I had figured out that this is finally the thing that can help empower youth, and if anyone is looking to building wealth in the long term, Bitcoin is actually the first technology in history as humans that can be able to give us that. And I did not think of any other thing that I would rather do. So yes.
And like, as you said, when we got into the space, I think during the spaces, any events that we meet, even in Ghana, we are just like the two of us. So we're like twins walking, pulling each other up and down. So I'm really glad that you have been a big supporter of Bitcoin Dada. And ladies, this is it. Support your fellow women. How you feel?
Also, maybe if I can add one thing that I like about Bitcoin most is the community. I have worked in corporates and so many other jobs, and I have not received support as much as I have in Bitcoin, working in Bitcoin. So I think that's the cream of it all. And with support, you even find yourself not feeling as if it's work. It's something that you're excited to do every day. And I think everybody should have fun work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Nali, for always supporting. Thank you.
Guys, you know when I'm about to tell you we go home. Because now after they've spoken, who else? So please, yeah? Appreciate Marcel and Noreen, please. Appreciate them. Hey. Komiti ya kupanga.
Sawa.
Mama ni matatu.
Pole pole.
Guys, you know how weird it is that you've heard that there might just be a Bitcoin Dada in Uganda and all you did was So I'm going to repeat again. There will be a Bitcoin Dada in Uganda. Hello, darling. How are you doing? You good? People, the graduates of 5th cohort, I don't know. If I'm mentioning some names and you don't know, I'm very scared. I'm going to mention his name again. Brendan, hi. Nataka makofi. Because ever since Brendan stepped into Bitcoin Dada's life, we keep mentioning Uganda, and now we are going to be in Uganda. Okay? So Brendan, thank you. Thank you for doing that for us. Again, ladies, all those who are graduating, hi.
Hi.
Scared to high because like Uganda. Hey, guys, you're failing us. You've been told to do what you do in this space, okay? You're not being asked to be like anybody else but yourself, okay? Mimi, I'm going to say, he started with our cohort. The first time he made an appearance, cohort 2, Sarah, Brenda, Carol, how you doing? This man first made an appearance in Bitcoin Dada from cohort 2, okay? Nisawa, cohort 2 also graduated last year, November. That's why it's on Muhahi, okay? Because this is our baby. The class graduating here is the 2nd of November, okay? He is the only one doing mining in Kenya, okay? Bitcoin mining. Sasa ameanza kuelewa ni nani? Yes, look. He is here to touch and talk about mining. Hi Jordan. How are you doing? Uko salama? See Jordan, nimemsalimia tu, want to introduce me to cryptocurrencies and then Bitcoin. Okay, so mpige makofi pia yeye. He is here to talk to us about Bitcoin, mining, and most of the time he sends his representatives. So cohort 5, he has decided to honor you and come. Yeah. So I need you to show appreciation. If you're wearing suspenders and white and black, you need to stand up and clap, okay?
Okay.
Because he is not trying to be like anybody else, he's doing his own thing, okay? So please, help me in welcoming and in appreciating Eric from Gridless.
Thank you. It's good to be here again. It's not like it's important that it's actually important that Janet would be here, right? Yeah. Janet's my co-founder. She's a Kenyan woman.
Woo!
And, it'd be nice if she was here, but she also has a little one. And so it's always hard for her to juggle that. And she's actually traveling this weekend anyway. So you're actually stuck with me. You're not lucky to have me, you're stuck with me. So as I was coming this time, I was like, you know what? Let me bring a few things that I can hand out, but not just hand out. Maybe we can answer some questions, and whoever gets the answers correct can walk away with a little bit of merch.
Eric.
Yeah, none of the people who are educating have Bitcoin that happen. So I have a couple of Gridless shirts and then a Bitcoin hat. That'll go last. Okay. And the last one is the hardest question. So, all right. So, how many Bitcoins are created every 10 minutes? 6.25. Black or green? What's your name?
Mary.
Mary, good job. All right. Where do Bitcoin transaction fees go? Where? Okay, you got an answer there? Ah, that's right. That's right. Black or green? What's your name? Kailash? Nice. What is the term we use for compute power of a Bitcoin mining machine? I didn't see any hands.
Hash rate.
Hash rates. Well done.
That's an educator. That's an educator. That's an educator.
Ah, you're supposed to keep it.
That's an educator.
Wait, who
Somebody
said
said
something?
hashtag.
I didn't see it. Okay,
She's shy.
That's an educator.
sorry. Mercy. Thank you. Okay, last question. You have to give me 3. I don't know if anybody can give me 3, but we'll see. Bitcoin bans in Africa, either implicit or explicit. Name me 3 countries where there's Bitcoin bans, implicit or explicit. So sometimes just. No one? Who can name 2? Okay. Cameroon and what? That's correct. I'd seen an educator before I knew this cookie on the way.
She gives up. She gives up.
That's the fact. All right. Well, there's Bitcoin use ban, and they're not mining yet, not in Ethiopia, but they are in the midst of approving it. So somebody's trying to be paid off, is what it is. Okay, my name's Eric. I'm the CEO of Gridless, and we do Bitcoin mining. Who here has learned a lot about Bitcoin mining in your class? Have you guys? I think we had a representative go to your class in this cohort. Who was it that went?
Sorry?
Who came to your class? Does anybody remember his name?
Oh, JC.
Who? When we realized that at Gridless, we started to go out and in the beginnings of Gridless, even before we started the company, we had deployed 1 or 2 of those miners. And we're like, how could this actually be useful in Kenya, just starting in Kenya? And I called up maybe 10 to 12 different energy guys all over the country. And I said, tell me what the business is like, and do you have extra energy that you could sell me, or what do you have? And it turns out that a lot of these small energy producers, the ones that are off in Ushago, right, way out there, right, they have excess energy. Because what they do is they'll build a site, and then the village, the community nearby, will use 20, 30, 40% of that energy. The bushel mill, the cell phone tower, each of these things take up maybe 30, 40% of the energy. So that means there's up to 60% of that energy remaining, and it's just being wasted. What happens then? Nothing. Because the energy producer doesn't make as much money as they could make, and therefore they have to charge more to the community for the energy so that they can make their numbers work. And it actually decreases the amount of new energy that's built. So we all know there's communities that still don't have energy, right? And we realized that we could go in there and be a partner with these energy producers, and that's what we do. A few of you have seen some images of, we have a site in Moranga, we have another one in Kirinyaga now, we have one in Malawi, we have another one in Zambia, and we keep going and finding these guys and moving kind of to the edge of where electrification is. So really what Gridless is about, in the name, is going to these gridless locations, finding the energy producers sometimes new ones who are just building new energy for the first time. And we go with them, we say, we're gonna be your partner. So when you turn this thing on for the first time, you don't just have 30% energy, you save 100% from day one. And it just changes their financials, right? So that's what Goodless does. Now, we're not just altruistic, we like to make money. We like to make Bitcoin specifically, and we like to hold our Bitcoin. So that's what we do at Goodless. You've seen how it operates. I'm explaining kind of the genesis of the organization and understand the philosophy of why we do what we do. I would say this, that while Bitcoin mining seems very technical, right? When you're looking at it from the outside, it looks like scary.
Is it possible to have like cohort 5 and maybe cohort 4 be with the site one of these days?
Yeah, we can definitely organize. Yeah, culprits, I know. Raise your hand if you've been to one of our sites. Separately, yeah. Some of you have been there often. I mean, like, okay. So yeah, we can definitely organize something for you, your ladies, to join us and see. I don't think you want to go now, because those hills, and they get muddy. You will be slipping and sliding down, and you won't be getting back up. It's really, really tough. So, okay, good question. Any other questions? Yeah.
Okay, what is your total hash rate?
We do not publicize that. But I will just say that we're running almost 2 megawatts now across multiple countries. So, you can do some back of the napkin math. All right.
I have a question about government. Have you, ever since you started, have you gotten to a place where the government is coming to you either for money or taxing you or anything that you come across as a challenge to them?
So we primarily work with independent power producers, so non-government power production, which means that we don't deal with the government very much. We have recently started to talk to different governments about their excess power, but we're not doing anything with them yet. And in that case, it's not about taxation or anything else, it's about wasted energy in the country and what can be done about it.
It's our NAD, okay? Personal NAD. Hi, Vlad. Good. And you say where you're from?
Tell us something.
And if they were hard to teach you, tell us.
Yeah, you better say. This is the day.
All right, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm sure I'll get to meet some of you like after the event, so I'm happy to be here. If there's one thing I'm going to say is, it's always good for me to share this knowledge, and I hope you guys enjoyed the class. I know it wasn't easy. We had to do it 2 times, like we had to go over the material again. But then one thing I have to say is, if there's one thing I'll leave you guys with, it's just this idea of security is very important. Like just yesterday, someone was saying on Twitter that there's a Bitcoin library that was using a function to generate like private keys, and the way it was doing it in a way that hackers could easily kind of retrieve those private keys. And this is actually a popular library, Bitcoin.js. And so one of the things I want to say is self-custody should be very important. I know I gave you guys the basics, but then I would push and say, keep on learning, and congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Brendan is here. Marcel, do you want to join this? Because I can feel like they're trying to tag you in this meeting.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to be in?
Yeah.
Well, that is one of our lecturers. Please appreciate Vlad. I think by now he has done 3 of our cohorts. Right? Okay, and now we have Brendan and the rest of the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, Good evening to you. Today with us we have myself, but two more important gentlemen. I will go with them first and then I will speak to you last. The first gentleman who is going to speak to us is Okin. Okin is based out of Namibia. For those who are in Cohort 5, I'm very sure he facilitated you. And Okin is really fun. I like to speak to him, and I hope he can give us a few words of encouragement and also guide the graduates to take the next steps. So Okin, whenever you're ready.
Okay, Dada, I hope you can hear me. Woo! Quieter than usual. Alright, so I'm in my studio in Namibia. I just like to say you
Oh no. No.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
We're trying out something new. Alright, so you ladies were phenomenal to teach. The fact that you ask questions for me is always the engaging with Dada is what matters, because it means that you're paying attention. It means that you're asking yourself, where can I apply this throughout my life, maybe to my situation or the situation of others? And that's what we try to do with these educational, is always to try and inspire more. And also just to let you know, while we go through that, you helped me remember a lot when I started my Bitcoin journey. So like Vlad said, I wouldn't like to take too much time away from you. Firstly, congratulations to all the graduates. You put in the work, you put in the hours, and today is your day. So I'd like to say congratulations to every single one of you. And then just to let, how I'd like to finish off is to say, you now know how to use the Bitcoin tools. So please go out there and use every single one of them. Ones that make your life easier and make sure that you understand that tool so that you can show you can help them gain economic emancipation too. Thank you very much, and once again, congratulations to every single one of you. Phenomenal job, ladies, phenomenal. Well done.
So, thank you so much, Okin. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I bring to you Frank Kova. He's a very interesting character. There's recently on a podcast of him. You need to check out New Renaissance Capital. It's a very good platform to learn from. Frank is, I'm told, one of the sponsors. Tutors, yeah. So Frank, please go.
Let me start now. Brendan, thank you for the introduction, and it's very difficult to speak after Okin. Very. Can you guys hear me okay? I'll do a check just as Okin did. We're okay?
Yes, we can.
Cool. I want to start. I'm sure that many of you have thanked her already, but I was a college lecturer, and what it is to teach people, and I also used to organize. I want to start by please give a round of applause to Marcel Lorraine. Her job is yeah. I started New Renaissance Capital because, I'll say this honestly, I was tired of listening to white people talk about how this might do good things for people in Africa or Latin America or Southeast Asia. So I wanted to hear from people themselves. I just wanted to hear their voices. Tell me what's working, tell me what's not working. And one of the most inspiring conversations I had was with Marcel Lorraine. One of the things she said to me,
to give a message to the graduates.
I think that you going through this process, learning about this new technology is so important because it means you can be a teacher and teach the people you care about, and teach your loved ones, your friends, teach causes that you care about. Could be anything from a school that you support trying to get the people who run the school to understand this technology, to teach their students about it, maybe to think about a strategy for accepting donations in Bitcoin or building an endowment for the future in Bitcoin. These are all going to be things that you now can start to do and start to push. We're living at a time very similar to the 1990s when the world was going online and people were learning what it was like to communicate with each other even though they were a world away. We're going through a different kind of transformation, but similar in scope and in newness. Never before have people been able to transact and do commerce with each other in such a seamless way globally. Never before have we been on one level playing field with one kind of currency that's not manipulatable by any one particular company or government. So it's a really big revolution, and you're at the very front of it, which is really exciting. I mean, if you actually think about it, a very small percentage of the world is a Bitcoin user who kind of understands what Bitcoin is and what it's capable of. There are lots of cryptocurrency users. It's true, actually. It's shocking numbers. In some countries, we're talking 15, 20, 25% of all internet users in some countries have already messed around with cryptocurrency. But often it's like to trade or to speculate, or they just kind of messed around and didn't do it, or maybe they're using stable coins, because they need to get dollar type access, and that's fine. But, we're still very early when it comes to Bitcoin itself. So, you should consider yourself fortunate, blessed to be able to go through this and then try to pay that forward, try to teach that to somebody else. Personally, that's what happened to me. I felt very blessed to kind of get it, to sort of start to understand it. Back in 2016, 2017, started to really grasp what was happening. And then I tried to use my position to reach other people and to help educate them. And now we're trying to support people around the world to do the same. So, from my own experience, that's been hugely gratifying, because once you realize what Bitcoin is, you know that you're on a journey, right? And the journey can last their whole life. And the sooner you can get out there and start helping people, the better you're going to feel about your role, no matter what your day job is, So again, congratulations on becoming someone who can spread the word about this new revolution, the people's revolution, and let's grow it. Let's grow it as fast as we can.
Essentially, for me, it's been, since I stepped in this room, in the room with the Dada ladies, it's always been infectious energy. And that's something that I look for earlier on in my space, in my journey. My name is Brendan Wine. I run a company called Gorilla Sats. I'm part of a social project called Bitcoin Kampala, Uganda. They are two different things, but they have the same priority: to pass on the Bitcoin message. Seeing 3 ladies from Uganda makes me happy, but also sad. But it also presents me with the reality of life. Out of the many ladies I talked to about Bitcoin, some of them received my message. A few of them took action. A few of them joined the program. A few of them went through the program. A few of them did the exam and passed. And 3 of them made it here. That's exactly how it works. That's exactly how it starts as well. For those who follow through on the simple steps, they proceed to do the difficult work. If you guys know how the 3 ladies got here, they did it through a crowdfund. It takes a certain level of commitment to want to come to a graduation so bad you ask the whole world to contribute for your money. I've been in that position twice. So Bitcoin requires a certain form of commitment that I do not see with all the other things that we talk about when we address Bitcoin. So, as we get into the next level of our journey, we need to understand two things. There are a few things that will distinguish you as a Bitcoiner and as a person who has gone through the Bitcoin Dada program. One is knowledge. Two is commitment. But three, and most importantly, is enthusiasm. We have to feel it. When someone bypasses you, you have to feel like we made a ceremony where we had people in front of you and they talk to you. It has to count. You have to pass it on. Because if you don't, maybe along the way, the person who will not receive that message is the same one who will fight you when you're trying to advance your Bitcoin message. Do not leave a stone unturned when it comes to Bitcoin orange peeling. Felix is here. I can assure you guys, the first time I was here for the debate, Felix was not a big name. Felix has worked his way into the Bitcoin hearts, not only the space. When I sleep, I'm like, Felix is working.
I wake up and work.
When I sleep, I'm like, Master Gwanta is not sleeping. And do you know what that does? That pushes us to be better. If you have seen how much impact has happened this year in the Bitcoin space, then you know how much we need you as a graduate to either start your own thing or run with something that is already running. If you see a point that you can feel in Master Gwanta's space, if you see how you can help Eric, if you can help Mumo, if you can help me, if you can help myself, do it. Because at the end of the day, it's just the start. And you're either with us or you will watch us when we reach the peak of the mountain. Do not be both sides. You cannot be in and out. You cannot be Krypton in Bitcoin. I'm sorry. If you hold Bitcoin in an exchange and you think you have it, you have to dedicate yourself. Because we were talking about this just before we entered here. There's going to be a void. And I think that is what it takes to cross from being a normal person to a Bitcoiner. Where you will not be sure what is going on. You will be working and you will not be paid. You will not have anyone clap for you. You will not have anyone recognize you.
Sure. Rich brother.
and the reason they are relating is because everyone has been through that. And when you get to that phase, reach out to us. Because we know what it's like. Please, please, all these tutors, everyone who spent time, they did not do it for entertainment. We want to come back to an event and there's no Marcel, there's no Eric, there's no Noeline on the poster. We want new faces. Because that means we are doing what Satoshi did. I liked the way you said that many times when we might move on to do other things. That should be the spirit. We shouldn't be the same people. Because then that means the message is hitting to the heart. Usually when I speak, there's excitement in the room. Today I decided to change it because I wanted to pass across a message. Now we can get back to the other end. My ladies from Uganda, I love you so much. And everyone else, go tell someone about Bitcoin. Even if you don't understand what you're saying, just tell them Bitcoin is going to change your life. Thank you very much for listening to me. Do one thing. Do not leave it up to chance. Because if you do, those of us who are taking the chance to do something will control you.
Those who would like to empower themselves a bit, these men are here to give us their perspective on Bitcoin, okay? Are we good? Yeah. Okay, good. Now I'm going to get dramatic because that's my that's my trait. Yeah? This one he has already stood here, so I'm going to be calm about him. He's our in-house. And when I mean in-house, he way too, okay? He's our in-house developer and he has lectured us and now we just love him. He's just part of Bitcoin Dada. Please put your hands together for Blood. You can also be our in-house something. No one is refusing, okay? You can also just come join in and be with us, okay? Nimenyang'anywa kila kitu. Maybe adjust, okay? May I have my phone? I started with Vlad, not really because he's our in-house developer, but because he's not a full, complete maxi, or rather, I've not had him. Are you a maxi? Are you a maxi now? Let me. No. Who is answering is? Let me just confirm. Are you officially a maxi, a Bitcoin maxi?
I mean, I don't identify myself as one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, you see, I'm not wrong. I've done my research. I've done my research. Okay. One of these men, the next 3 men who are about to come here, let me access because akili haiwezi kram kila kitu, okay? One of them once said, yeah? They are all maxis. The next men I'm about to invite here are all maxis, okay? Who knows what a maxi is? In the servers, you are paid that. I'm gonna say it, yeah? One of them said that Bitcoin maximalism is not a cult, okay? Or an obsession. It's a result of a deep understanding of Bitcoin plus a distrust in the current broken monetary system plus a moral obligation to make the world a better place. And Bitcoin is the way. Do you agree? Yes. That is what he said Bitcoin maximalism is, okay? So, you concur? Okay, the maxis are now talking. Where is my... Guys, why are my things shifting like that, okay? So, you can guess. If you guess who this person is, I may give you stats. Like, I'm not generous like that, okay? This person who is about to come here, have you understood what Bitcoin maxi is? Yes. Because they are about to be toxic, okay? Whatever is about to be said here is about to be personal and toxic, and you will either like it or like it. You don't have an option, okay? Okay? Okay, good. He is the founder. He's a major YouTuber, a very good friend of mine, at the Flex. He is also, and I'm starting with him because he once confessed. During our last event, Machankura launch in Kenya. Can I get an hey? Okay, good, you were there. He once said that the birth of his organization was because of Bitcoin Dada. He was seated in one of our events and it just struck him that he's not doing enough in the space. And because it struck him when he was with us that he was not doing enough in the space, he is now the founder of Satoshify Me, which is an education platform for Bitcoin, and he is a major YouTuber and a very good friend of mine. Please put your hands together for Mumo. Do you think he's the one who gave out the definition of Bitcoin maximalism? Do you think it's him? Hey, some of you are sure? Hey, she's here saying no, it's not him. It's not him. Momo, is that your quote? I don't know. Hey, okay, good job. Well, this one is a whole 360 for us, Cohort 2. Are you ready? Cohort 2, are you ready? Hi. He is the founder of Bitcoin Taani, and he's also your favorite toxic Bitcoin maximalist from where? From Nairobi, Kenya. Please put your hands together for Guatai. wangapi wa kudance? Brindon angekuwa hapa. Wewe, Brindon angekuwa hapa, you would have danced, okay? All of you had to stand up. Yeah. Hey. Guys, I'm about to have a heartbreak because I don't think this are mine.
Oh my God! The competition is getting
Guys, I'm not doing okay.
Oh my God, Dada. When was the last time you received a card?
Never.
Oh, is it anniversary? Okay, so enjoy celebrating your special day. Happy birthday and Bitcoin Dada graduation graduates. You're loud. Oh, you're loud. Oh, loud. Loud. I'm not used to being loud. Okay, so loud also fits. Hang around Bitcoin Dada, they're loud. So you're loud, you're loud, and we always support you. Thank you. Thank you once a good time.
Well, asibasi mpigie Marcel happy birthday makofi. Some of you are thinking, oh, I didn't get the spotlight. You didn't even think of giving her flowers. Cohort 5. Hopefully you have flowers. Anyway, so I get under pressure. Edith, are you okay? Edith, watu wakubwa wanakutaja huko alafu maua tu. Gonzai, you just had to take the moment. Now, what am I supposed to say after this? Do you think the quote is his?
Yes.
It looks like it feels like one time. Okay, well, I'm about to introduce my favorite person, and Brindon has taken this away from me. Yeah, he has mentioned him, and he's making me uncomfortable because now why did you mention this person? I was about to be dramatic about him. Yeah, proof of work. Yes, you're correct. You know. This man, the first time he made an appearance in Bitcoin Dada, alikuja tu kwa event yetu, and then all he did was pick up his phone and walk around and tell the Dada, say one thing about Bitcoin. One thing about Bitcoin, yeah? The next time he appeared,
alikuwa founder.
The next time he appeared, he came with a whole bee on his head. A whole bee. Like he had a Bitcoin on his head, drawn, shaved. I don't think you go hard on Bitcoin like this human being. That's why Brindon is getting anxiety thinking that this man is somewhere sitting. Yeah? And now that time he appears at Bitcoin Dada events, he's in the fucking panel. Guys, start putting your hands together for this man. Yeah? He is the founder of the Cohort. If you know the Cohort, yeah, thank you, Natalie, you're informed, yeah? He is, because I believe after Bitcoin Dada comes what? The Cohort. There is no other platform, Bitcoin education platform that comes after Bitcoin Dada, okay? So, he is the founder of the Cohort, the Kijana Mdogo. My daughter calls him that, Kijana Mdogo, yeah? So you see it's personal for me, yeah? The Kijana Mdogo, and he is the owner of the Cohort, okay? So put your hands together for Felix! Hey! I see you, huh? guy, you think about Bitcoin and you don't want to sleep. If you want to get pressure, think about this young man. This guy, who you are talking about pressure. He's doing a challenge of 100 orange peeling and onboarding 100 businesses. Yeah. Tumefika ngapi?
4.
Tuko ngapi?
6.
Tumefika 6 minutes. Please appreciate. Do you know orange peeling a business? Are we men hadi Meru? Watu wa Meru watu wameshaanza ku accept Bitcoin, and the person next to you is not accepting Bitcoin. Look at you, Brenda. Okay. Okay, so this is the best part about having this panel. Yeah, we discovered that having an educator question the panel benefits most of us. Okay, because an educator understands what the students do not get and what the students need to know. Okay, so we are going to have Marcel Lorraine, the founder of Bitcoin Dada, moderating this panel. So please help me appreciating Marcel.
Yeah. She got her own keys. She got her own keys. She got her own keys. She got her own keys.
Umeona Marcel amekaa chini maji ikatoka. Sijui wengine kama ni relevant, sijajua. Yeah, Ashas, please do what you're supposed to be doing. It is 6:46, yeah? 6:40, panel, are you hearing me? 6:46. 7:15 if you're still here. Now you're playing with me. Nyinyi ni maximalist. You have points. You have no narrations, okay? We go. Okay? So Marcel, 6 nini? Nita kukimbiza wote? Okay, umesikia Marcel amesema by 7 within 14 minutes these guys should have been packed us, changed our mentality and made us toxic, okay? Yes. Yeah, so please appreciate this panel as they discuss Bitcoin.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, again, thank you for accepting to be part of our panelists and sharing your experiences. So because of time, we truly blame the audience, right? So what we're going to do is just maybe you share your experiences and I'll maybe probably ask 1 or 2 questions relating to what you've been doing. And I think I want to start with Felix because Felix is the youngest, right, in this, in terms of in the community, in the space, and also age. When you're not younger than me, though. Anyway, I just start 16. So maybe Felix, you can tell us. Sweet. Felix, maybe you can introduce yourself, tell us what you have been doing so far, and what kind of group or audience you've been working with so far.
All right. Alright. My name is Felix, founder of Cohort, and apart from doing Bitcoin education, I'm also a graphic designer, and that's why you can see. So, yeah, Bitcoin, the Cohort is an online Bitcoin education platform. So we are just doing Bitcoin education, and I started off the Cohort on our WhatsApp group. And that is a year ago. Just December last year, we formed now the platform. I came up with the name The Cohort, and we started doing education, like casual education. We just tell people to join the Google Meets, and they join. We did not like have any program, like say following a curriculum and all that.
Sorry for interjecting. As an educator, I really don't like hearing noise so could you have the doors closed or something like that? Yeah, because these are very important people, so I feel sure. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's good. So I then formed that, and we started doing the casual, as I've said, just doing random topics about Bitcoin, because I started off very bad. I heard you talking about cheap projects. I call it, I don't know, they're just fiat currency like Bitcoin on the blockchain technology, but they are just fiat system on the blockchain. So whatever the garbage you're running off from the fiat, and if you're not strictly on Bitcoin, you might probably find them on a shitcoin. So that's why I kind of left all that and started the education of Bitcoin only. right? But it doesn't take a lot of time for you to realize that. You just need to consolidate a few things and learn that it's Bitcoin only. You ask yourself the hard cap of Ethereum. Who knows? Alright? So those few questions you can just ask yourself and decide to be Bitcoin only, alright? So we did a lot of casual education and come up with a curriculum known as the Understanding Bitcoin, 8-9 chapters. I got that from the white paper. I decided let me just have 9 chapters. And it was studying from the history of money all the way to ways of scaling up Bitcoin adoption. I did that for quite some time, and we started kind of now doing a formal, having 2 days a week to do that. And then we started now, yeah.
Yeah. DJ, your system is failing us.
I can just speak. I think I'm
Okay.
all right. So we went ahead and we now had like a formal education where we're picking days of the week to do. We did every Thursday and Sunday. Now we kind of from that curriculum, of course, you can evaluate people story by story, but we're just doing not really doing kind of give assignments or doing kind of education in terms of having people do exams. So it was really casual, but after a while I thought that it is wise to have people get evaluated. So the first group, I don't say that they had nothing to say, like a certificate or to prove themselves that they've done the education process and they go. And somewhere around March, now we had this group coming in and we now started evaluating them, following the kind of attendance, and we're having them check how many attendance you come to the class, and then later on we now started doing the exam, the final exams. From then, we now had the opportunity to, that was the first group, so we've done 3 cohorts up to now who graduated with certificates now. The second one we did March, April, May, June. Then I got in touch with the founder of, the co-founder of my first Bitcoin, that is Adam, from El Salvador, and he said that, okay, my curriculum was good, but of course thinking about coming up with a textbook, stuff like that. And then they introduced me to the Bitcoin diploma, and it was a good kind of curriculum. I'm looking at it. I looked at it for about 2 months without using it really, because you have to know, right, is this exactly what I wanted, and this, if it's good, if it's aligned with your goals, then I kind of agreed to that. And our first group to use the Bitcoin diploma was the October intake. We enrolled 68 people applied, and then
Question. Do you have like any of your students here with us?
Yeah.
Could you like
Wow.
just? Oh my God.
Wow.
Amazing. This is what we call growth.
Yeah. So now we are on chapter 8. It has 10 chapters. So possibly we are going to have our graduation probably on 9th next month. That's it. So we are now officially like doing the curriculum and educating in terms of having people certified for Bitcoin using the Bitcoin diploma. And now apart from that, of course, you all know that it's a non-profit. Educating about Bitcoin is free, and most of the time you then have to now incentivize people. So technically you're not earning from doing that. So I thought, before then I thought that as an entrepreneur, Bitcoin is doing, it's an emerging market. Just the way people heard about M-Pesa in 2008, and they were wondering what this is. Some people are now establishing agents to help people transact in Bitcoin, and I believe they're fairly doing fine. So as a developing, as a emerging technology, there are very many opportunities, but there's very few labor. You have just to identify what you can do. I started learning graphic design online, it's not my career, right? So it's not my kind of, I went through education program to learn about graphic design. So you just know there's a lot of branding that will go on in the Bitcoin space. That is automatically, don't need to be told that. I learned YouTube and all of that, started doing a lot of branding, and now what kind of phase is branding Bitcoin projects. I think you've seen that. I have been working with Contact closely. I think you've seen that as well. So many projects. So apart from Bitcoin education, I'm also doing Bitcoin branding. All right. So that's kind of the journey that I've had in developing the platform before.
Absolutely amazing and such an inspirational story. And I love the fact that you mentioned that you actually taught yourself a particular skill, so you didn't really have to wait on traditional education system. So you identified a particular skill, you taught yourself, and now you're earning from that. So if you're here, you're young, and you're wondering what you can do, identify a skill that you relate with. I would say that relate with, and then try and monetize it, right? So thank you, Felix, for always honoring our events, for actually attending our events. And I'm so proud of you. I think we've had so many calls. And I'm so proud of you that you actually made it onto this particular platform. And next time, probably you'll be the one representing Kenyans in El Salvador. So congratulations. I definitely, if I will not be around, of course, Bitcoin Dada will be representing us in your graduation. Be sure to send us an invitation. And if you need help in organization, I mean, there's no one who actually organizes events like Bitcoin Dada. So if you need help, free of charge, by the way, we will help you. So congratulations on that. One question before I release you, because I just want us to, and then we're done. So what was the main reason that you decided you want to train the youth? Because I'm assuming you work with youth, say your students, right? Why did you pick on the youth?
The youth are kind of curious by just themselves. You find a youth, you just wear something like this, they stop you. I've hardly had an other person stopping me to ask me what is this, but several times I've seen a youth, like every time, they're easy to get on again, and almost every business that I've kind of onboarded, also they are owned by, let's say, the youth, right? So the youth are kind of curious, they want interaction, they are the most affected, of course. Looking at the age group, let's say from 18 to 35, if you look at them, they are the ones who are going to have new businesses, they are the ones who are going to start families in between that age group. So they are the ones that they need this knowledge, because they are the ones that are going to kind of make an immediate impact if you compare with any other age group. So that is the reason why I chose to do that particular age group.
Absolutely, very important. He said I'm saying we because he said up to 35. So, nimeangukia, I mean, that particular bracket. So he said a very important point that we are the most affected, right? So when it comes to job opportunities, there is a huge problem, challenge when it comes to that. In terms of inflation, we get really affected because you're the ones who are starting families, you're trying to save, and all that. So I think what you're doing with the youth is actually very impactful in the future and also as now. So thank you and congratulations for your success.
Just one thing as a maxi, of course. Take your position in the Bitcoin space now. Please take your position in the Bitcoin space now. What is happening is, the Bitcoin space, you really need to put in the work to see the rewards. So it might be very slow, but coming like 2 years from now, if you're not doing Bitcoin, your thing might not really be going anywhere. I mean, people will be all informed, the people, you stand up, you say your own stuff, and they are looking at you, they are asking you a simple question. They are looking at your Twitter handle. 3 months ago, you were posting potato project. Next 3 months, you are posting this. What is your stand? We are not understanding. They are very simple questions we are going to let these people ask you, and I'm certain you're not going to answer. So that is the way they are going to dismiss you from the public speaking. Some will just ask you something.
True, yeah.
Just go. All right?
Wow, thank you.
If you want to maybe strengthen your resilience, get into the Bitcoin space. So that is just proof of work. There's nothing else. You will not get free money. You will not get free appreciation or praise. You have to show the proof of work, and I'm a living testimony to that. Master Gwentai. What did you do to these ladies?
He loves flowers.
Oh my God. Natalie, you're overthinking as well. Natalie is always overthinking. So, okay, so we have Mr. Gwete. Probably introduce yourself and tell us what you've been doing in this space and for how long.
First and foremost, I'm very honored and privileged to be at the Bitcoin Dada graduation as your Bitcoin Kaka. I wish you nothing but all the best. So that is why this is extremely important to me, and when Marcel gave me the call to come, I'm honored and privileged to be here. My government name is Gwasai Kaburima. I don't have an English name, but everyone knows me as Master Gwasai. Yes. So my journey in the Bitcoin space, basically blood, sweat and tears, late nights, early mornings. You must put in the work. And to just echo the sentiments articulated right now is, for me, I'm extremely allergic to shitcoiners. That is why I'm a toxic Bitcoin maximalist. I do not tolerate the stupidity that you can be doing you're posting 1, 2, 3 and then blah. As Noeline during Marcel's panel said, consistency is key. Everyone can scroll down 3 months ago and see the bullshit that you're doing. So, like for me, I keep it blunt, hot and sweet, and very simple. So yes, for me, the founder of Bitcoin Tani and Bitcoin Dada Tours right now. I've been honored and privileged to work with several Bitcoin companies through my, right now working, I don't have a 9 to 5. Bitcoin is my 9 to 9. Like 24/7 all day long, baby. So it's been a lovely experience, like meeting different people, working with different people, and for the Dadas especially, don't feel afraid. Sometimes you go out of your way to make things happen, maybe you will not get that response that you wanted. You'll do something like just put yourself out of your comfort zone. So as for right now, what I'm passionately going for the last 4 months, I'm specifically doing content to onboard youth that is basically like from a 10-year-old to a 16-year-old to the Bitcoin space. And it was difficult for me to do that because I was making my content more niche. Instead of English only, now it's English, Swahili, and Share. I've basically had 2 jobs in my whole life. I was a soldier and now I do Bitcoin.
Wow.
Yeah, Kenya Navy, blah, blah, we were. But now, basically taking the leap was, I was not accustomed to putting a camera in front of my face and I'm alone and speaking to myself. That was very uncomfortable for me. But fortunately, I took the plunge and I'm very grateful to God that my TikTok, especially, is blowing up. I get a lot of inquiries about Bitcoin. People engage. I try to make the content as lively as possible for everyone to understand. So basically, you don't have enough time for me to collect my 4-year journey in the space, going to 5, but that's a synopsis of
a book.
Master Gwasai. So meet you with love.
Natalie. Oh my God. Anyway, so my question to you, Gwentai, so you've been in this space for the last 4 years, right? Do you have like any specific impactful story that you can share with us, maybe through your journey as an educator? Is there like a very specific story that really you hold dear?
Oh, my most impactful story.
Chill.
Working with Matankura, I had a very great experience. So there was this older gentleman. We went to the Bitcoin school in Machakos. So I had the pleasure to teach a class with Noelin, and this gentleman did not have, he had a feature phone. But then Matankura did not exist. So he simply wanted to buy some Bitcoin. But the question was, how can I buy some Bitcoin? But we were fortunate enough to go a year after when Matankura was live and actually sending stuff.
Thank you, Gwentai. I've worked with Gwentai for quite some time. I'm glad it's brought up that time. I won't speak over the discussion, but yeah, that was a very impactful time. I'm actually looking forward to going back there again. They couldn't be able to send sats, but right now it's possible for them to receive sats because of, you understand, internet connection, which are being a Kwanga. Yeah.
Wow. A real use case there, right? Reminds me of the time we actually went to Machakos, and I think I told you this, that they were finding it difficult. They had the information about Bitcoin, but they couldn't get a way to actually transfer Bitcoin. So thank you for that, and thank you, Nordin, as well. Pass our regards to Kogatsu as well, too. Okay. Okay, so over to Momo.
My name is Momo. I am a content creator.
Wow.
I started on YouTube. Actually this year is when I got serious with TikTok. So for the young people who are here, please, Momo_Momo_.
Can you repeat that, please?
Momo_Momo_ on all platforms. If you go on YouTube, it's just Momo. What is interesting for me as an educator is that I did not start as an expert, and I am not an expert. So one of the things that I want to remind everyone, stop seeking permission to teach others. In January of 2021, I had no idea what Bitcoin was. And I still did a video on how to buy Bitcoin using M-Pesa on Paxful. Because I was learning it at that time. Like, if you go watch that video, I was buying it for the very first time. I had no idea what Bitcoin is. All this philosophy that now we hold, and now becoming a maximalist. I wasn't a maximalist then. I was just curious. And that's the first thing. If you're going to be a good Bitcoiner, you have to be curious. And you have to allow yourself to understand that everything that you have known until now was probably a lie.
Oh, it's so true.
The reason I say that is because everything that you hear in the media, there's always an agenda behind it.
True.
So these days, by the way, anytime I go on Twitter, instead of saying good morning, what I say is, what is the government looking to distract us from this week?
Wow. Nice.
That is awesome.
Because, let me tell you, by the way, when you become a Bitcoiner, you will inevitably become an activist. You will inevitably become a rebel. There is no two way about it. Because one of the things that we need to teach people is that they need to move away from shillings, of course. They know they need to move from shillings. But they also need to learn how banks work. Because before you do that for them, there is no way you're going to teach them about Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin is essentially you becoming the bank. That's basically it. So that's the thing that, for me, when I started off, I had no idea about. And so I'll tell you what I've learned today. Not that I know everything, but what I've learned today. Because then, the more I teach you, the more I know. And you just need to know just one more thing than other people for you to become an educator. And that's a thing that I would love to see. Because when I started in 2021, I was even peke yangu, doing it alone. So I'm happy when I see Gwantai educating people. I'm happy when I see Noelin's videos. I'm happy when I see Sabina's videos. Because I know finally we are building something. And the more of us are actually doing it, you have no idea who it will reach.
True.
Because the impact that we are expecting to have in this country is about, first we need to change the laws. The laws are, I do not want to curse today, but the laws are the way they are. So for us, we can't go and say we want to fight the laws that are there. We have to come also from a place of empathy. Because the same way we were before Bitcoin, that's where those people in authority are today. So we have to put ourselves in their shoes and meet them where they are and show them the journey that we have been on. Because each of us here discovered Bitcoin, left Bitcoin because it was not giving us a lot of money, went outside, went to look for money, went lost it there, then discovered, by the way, kumbe, the money was just where I was. So you have to be patient as well with everyone who's out there. The people who are in this room are closer to Bitcoin. That's good. But the real people with the impact, the people who are writing those laws, those are the people that I hope each one of you, because if you do, it's called the 6 degrees of separation. If you do it, there's one of you here who has 6 degrees of separation with the president of this country.
Wow.
And the problem is, you are too afraid of, have I makeup on today? I'm not wearing the clothes that I should be wearing. Oh, my hair looks like this. Oh, this light is not showing me the way it should be showing me. Oh, I do not have the English that I should be having in order to share the same stage as the people you're seeing here. The thing is, by the way, for me, if you guys can start channels today, whichever platform you're comfortable with, and start and just do your thing, then the impact of Bitcoiners will actually be felt.
True.
Because the thing is, being a pioneer in the space, it's extremely lonely. The day we came here, by the way, was it 2 years ago? We were here about 10 of us. It was him, it was her, and then several other people. And the energy that was being brought in the room was being brought by an Indian. Because we had never met and sat down and said, by the each one of us is a Bitcoiner. Today, honestly, all of you are seated here because of an Indian who decided to travel the world and came to Kenya. That's where all this story starts. So you have no idea who your story is going to affect.
In this same room, by the way.
Yes.
We were seated here, by the way, that night.
And we paid our bill.
Yes. And so, for me, the joy is, and as an educator, my joy is, whatever you've learned today, if you're in Cohort 5, whatever you've learned today, just go put it in your own words, put it on your channel. Just do that. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes long. It doesn't have to be how many minutes long, like the way we do long videos. 1 minute, 30 seconds. Put up or a caption on Instagram. It doesn't matter what it is. Start your journey today and educate the rest of the world.
Oh my God. God has been with us through, I think, the last 3 cohorts. We do love him very much, and we appreciate you for always taking the time and taking through us the technical stuff. And Vlad is a great tutor. He can break down, that technical stuff that even myself, I had to, I normally just call Vlad after class and they tell him, like, yeah, and he's such a darling at doing that. So thank you, Vlad, for that. Okay, so first question, of course, introduce yourself and tell us what you do in the space.
So, as myself said, I'm Vlad. I'm a Bitcoin developer. I mostly work on Bitcoin open source software.
It's a bit louder.
So, as I said, I'm Vlad. I'm a Bitcoin developer. I mostly work on Bitcoin open source software. That's what I do full time. I also run a community of developers here in Nairobi called the Big Devs Nairobi. So it's essentially just a group of developers that meet every month to talk about the latest technical development in the space. I'm a Cameroonian. I know people see me all the time and they think that I'm a Nigerian. I'm not a Nigerian. Cameroonian. Like to precise that. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I do.
How long have you been in this space?
Actually, the first time I came in contact with Bitcoin was in like 2013. But it didn't speak to me. Back then I was interested in the dark web and and Bitcoin was used on this website called the Silk Road. People were using it to pay for like drugs, to pay for like marijuana and stuff. I mean, I was just looking at this thing, I was like, well, yeah, but I was more interested about the dark web than Bitcoin itself. So the second time I met it, I think it's in 2017 during the bull market. Back then I was in like my third year of computer science. And we had this group of people on campus that were so loud about it. And they were like, oh, we need to make money. And they're like, oh, we are buying Bitcoins, we are making money, this thing is pumping, and all of that. But still, I was like, well, I don't have money, so there's nothing for me to put in this thing. And at the same time, I met Bitcoin for the third time in 2018. So in 2018, there's one of the pioneers of the internet infrastructure on the continent that actually came to my class to give like a presentation about Bitcoin. I mean, there's only one thing I remembered from that conversation was that if you think that the internet was something that was transformational in the sense that it helped us to move information, Bitcoin is essentially that. The only difference is it's helping us to move value. But still, it didn't mean anything to me. I was looking for the next job, you know. So, fast forward, I leave Ghana. That was in Ghana. I leave Ghana and I go back to Cameroon. And in Cameroon, the goal for me back then was I wanted to do my own thing. So I was focused on that. I was really, really focused on doing my own thing. So I had a couple of online jobs that I was doing as a developer just to make sure that I have a living expense to keep on going. Then after a while, I kind of started during the pandemic. The pandemic met me in Cameroon. I kind of started looking into this thing because back then everybody was talking about the financial crisis or whether we might have another 2008. So that's when I started looking into this thing called Bitcoin. And at the same time too, I kind of volunteered my service. So there's this Ethereum developer that was doing a course around introduction to cryptocurrencies. So I reached out, I'm like, oh, they're doing a course, I can build a website. Let me build a website for you if you're doing a course. Back then my head was just, I need to figure out how to get money. Because the thing I was doing as my own startup wasn't working, so I had to come back to like the job market and get the job. So my main focus was, how do I get opportunities and just keep going? So that was my focus when I reached out to this person. So I learned a lot working with this person. I learned a lot about Bitcoin. I learned a lot about Ethereum. At times, some of the Bitcoin developers that we work with every day, at times I say some of the Ethereum stuff and they're like, where do you know all these things? But I learned these things. I even built like smart contracts. I learned these things. So my kind of journey kind of went through like a long process. So I know a couple of you might feel like, oh, there are some people who say that Bitcoin maximalist and Bitcoin is the only thing I do. I don't blame anybody. I understand that we all have to earn a living. And at times I also see people going to maybe to work on Solana because, I mean, we have to come to terms with reality at times at times there are not so many jobs for people. At times there's a lot of money in the crypto space. So people are going for the money. People have to survive. That's the reality. So there's no reason to be kind of I don't know what's the word, to be judgmental about it. Just do your own thing. If you can try to create opportunities for other people, do that.
True.
So, long story cut short, so I learned about Bitcoin and Ethereum during that time. So I went back to Ghana to work as a software developer. I worked there for like a year. I got that job. After 1 month, I knew I wanted to leave. So I was looking for ways to leave. And I kept on applying for jobs. And it was a little bit difficult. And the thing is, as someone who is in the tech space and who is a developer, I know very well that there's a lot of money in tech. So what I was looking at is like, let me get a remote job. So I kept on having these interviews that I would do, and people would say, oh, you know, you're in Africa, we are only hiring from this region, or, you know, you're good, but we cannot afford to like pay your visa processing fee for you to come to work with us in the US. So they just kept on having these roadblocks and roadblocks. A lot of failed interviews as well. Then one day there's this tweet I see online of the Bitros team is being formed. For those who don't know, Bitros is essentially an organization that funds Bitcoin open source developers. And so back then that team was being formed, and I was like, their goal is like to fund developers from the African continent. And I just looked at the tweet and kind of followed the handle of all the people that were appointed to be part of that team. I was like, okay, this one, what does he do? This one, what does he do? This one, what does he do? Then I ended up realizing that there's one of them that has started this organization called Kala, whose goal was essentially that to say, we want to train Bitcoin developers on the African continent. And when I get in contact with that organization, I see their website, I go to the website, and they are like recruiting the next people they want to train. So I apply. And that's how I get to be like part of their first cohort. And that's when I really learned like the real technical fundamentals of Bitcoin development.
That changes implementation. So for us, it's thinking about what Bitcoin can do for Africa and what Bitcoin is doing for Africa right now. And so there are 3 parts, with the first being for everyone who's here, who's a guest, who does not know what Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin was first launched in 2009 in January by someone called Satoshi Nakamoto. The thing is, like, no one knows who Satoshi is. It's like this mythical creature, like a unicorn who no one knows. Everyone is in court right now wondering like who it is. People are trying to prove themselves as Satoshi, but no one actually knows who it is. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. It belongs to everybody. So anyone can be Satoshi, basically. So you, me, your brother, your sister, we are all Satoshis. So, and the thing is, it uses blockchain technology to facilitate payments. So it's a digital currency. And it's something that has been brought about by technology from a long time ago. He didn't just wake up one day and he had a solution, but it came from like the 70s, like from a long time ago. And finally, in 2009, Satoshi came up with this solution, Bitcoin. So for me, the first section is Bitcoin for the markets. So I'm going to talk about what Bitcoin does for economies and for markets. And the first thing is reduced inflation. One of the main reasons why Bitcoin was created was to help with the financial system of the world. Because the first message, the first Bitcoin block was mined with the message of the Times of 3rd January 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. So that time there was an economic crisis and it was fueled by high levels of inflation. So the Bitcoin now came about to help reduce global inflation by limiting the number of Bitcoins available in the market. So for everybody who knows who is in the space, there are only 21 million Bitcoins that can ever be mined. And that means that on the law of supply and demand, where if there's more supply, there's less supply, there's more demand. And that's the law that's being used basically by Bitcoin to help reduce inflation. So the first thing that Bitcoin helps in Africa is to help reduce inflation. Like we've seen in Zimbabwe how they had a horrible time with inflation. And also in Kenya right now, we can see our own country. They just wake up one day, the president is like, we are raising prices of fuel, and embarrassingly, Tanzania says they're lowering, so they're caught red-handed. Thank God for us, because now we know the truth. They can't blame external factors like war anymore. So Bitcoin is supposed to help reduce that government influence on such things. That's the first thing. The second thing is transparency. Again, as Kenyans, we understand this more than other people, but like Bitcoin is an open ledger technology. That means you can see all transactions that are going on in the network. So because all transactions are recorded in a public ledger and everyone can see, if we decide to use Bitcoin as like a national currency or any other country in Africa, we can actually see where our money is going. So it is good for us. Or at least we can know if they're actually spending the money how they're supposed to spend it. Another thing is seamless international trading. So Bitcoin belongs to no one, belongs to all. So like we are all Satoshi. And the network, because it's built on the internet and everyone has the internet in the world, then anyone can access Bitcoin. You can use Bitcoin and we can use it primarily as a main mode of exchange between countries and people worldwide. So yeah, it can potentially be, and it currently is a unified currency that knows no borders.
And I'll be talking about Bitcoin for the people, with emphasis on the women, because we all agree that looking at the world overpopulation, women compose of the most in the population. The percentages are enormous, and what is the impact that Bitcoin can have on the women? So we all agreed that financial inclusion is something that has been in the papers, on all over, like on the web, but usually we want to redefine it, and financial inclusion is having these financial facilities accessed by people to suit their exact needs. And when you look at the different needs that we have, we look at savings, investments, trading, making payments and all. And as a woman or a person in this room, first of all, we want to appreciate that whatever knowledge we are taking from this room today, we are taking it out to sow as a seed. Don't be selfish. I remember the person who orange pilled me kept emphasizing the fact that don't let good information go to the waste. So don't get tired. If you're feeling sleepy, shake yourself up. You need it. Bitcoin belongs to no one, so we're all Satoshi. No one is going to tell you how to manage your money, so you must be responsible. Like who are told by one of our tutors in the cohort that Bitcoin empowers you, and with empowerment comes responsibility. So don't let any of this good thing go to the waste?
I like to say Bitcoin for growth and change as well. Number one is increasing innovation. Bitcoin increases innovativeness across the continent, which is Africa. And for example, in the recent hackathon that our Dadas participated in, Sabina was on the gate. That's one of the innovations that can succeed into something big, and Bitnode from Nigeria, Breedless, and Machan Cooler as well. And this is a solution to buying, and even companies when they take it and storing Bitcoin as well. And there's still room for more Africans in this space. And I'm going to go to my second, which is building communities. Building communities, and Bitcoin provides an opportunity for us all to build communities for like-minded people like Bitcoin Dada. And even in the social media space, like Twitter, you find that it's a community, like you feel like you belong. There's a sense of belonging in the Bitcoin community. And because this is important in Africa, as you can see ourselves working towards the common goal, like orange peeling. Number 3 is fostering change. Bitcoin has opened the eyes of many people to the possibilities that the technology has in bringing changes in our lives. And it has opened our eyes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, mine, yeah. She got her own keys, she got her own keys, she got her own keys, she got her own keys. Yo, where my Bitcoin Dada is at? 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 She got her own keys, she got her own keys, she got that new J wallet on Blockstream. It's a Bitcoin off exchanges under self-custody. She runs her own milk, providing liquidity. Open the channel to me, just a couple 100,000 cents. Voltage up to our left, then it's on BTC. Probably got a fear, cause she's always wanted me to check it out for the datas and the community. Now she got her own keys, she got her own keys, she got her own keys, yeah, she got her own keys, 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 she got her own keys. Yeah, where my Bitcoin Dada is at? 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 She got her own keys, she got her own keys, she got it in second and GHB. Got her playlist on Wavelength, put out on Zebedee. She's on Thunder Game, she knows Bitcoin is energy, and she ain't ever wasting that. Yeah, I know she likes to stay, when she helps her sisters out. Yeah, she got a half of that, a facilitator, Bitcoin educator. If you know what Bitcoin Dada is, yeah, she got her own keys, she got her own keys, man. Where my Bitcoin Dada is at? Where my Bitcoin Dada is at?
Magoti. But I can't do that. Thank you. A huge congratulations to all of you. Wow. I mean, sitting in through the classes, it's not easy to learn about a foreign concept, you know, and also considering that by the time you're learning it, you really don't understand why it's important to you. So going through the entire program, doing the exams and actually getting the pass mark, because you're not the only ones who actually did the exam. So a huge, huge congratulations to all of you. I don't think Edith should be here though. She's position 4. Oh, okay. You missed 1 mark.
1 mark.
Oh. Where is position 1? Let me see her face.
Wow.
Oh, the Kataini one. Hi. Okay, so I still think Eddie, please go outside. If I'm not 91, Edith 90, right? Yeah, have a very good memory. So, unfortunately, for some reason, I actually carried a few, but so this, I was gifted this by, I think, can't remember his origin. Please, Gwentai. I can't really remember where he's from, but he's from, no, I will call you later.
Morome.
Oh, Morema, I will call you later, please sit away. So the purpose of this is to remind you to always keep your coins with you, not on exchange, but off, right? So when you have this, I'm not sure how we're going to do this since there are few, but I can distribute, I have enough in the house, so I can always get them to you. So I'll just, maybe you'll probably pick one as you leave the stage. And then, sorry, it's okay, Natalie, let me bring it. So where are the certificates? Okay. Oh. Okay, they're coming. Okay. So maybe so we have Anne Wanjiru, and maybe we can have the speakers handing over the Brindle. Let's start with you. Anne Wanjiru. Anne Wanjiru. Anne Wanjiru is not here. Okay, so we'll do this fast because of time. We have Fiona Kwamboka. Fiona is not here. Oh, and you get to hear. We have Sonia. Martha. We have Martha from Uganda.
Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Yeah.
Hillary Silveri. We have Maureen. Thank you so much, Bring Up. And I hope last time I had cases and complaints from our students that you did not take everybody's photo. So make sure each and every graduate gets a photo, right? Okay, thank you. We have Zipporah and Jerry. Oh, sorry. Momo, please, if you don't mind. Momo! That's Zipporah and Jerry. An interesting fact about Zipporah is that her aunt is Sarah. Sarah was part of Cohort 2. So that's like the entire family being orange peel. So Sarah birthed Natalie birthed Zipporah. So that's one family. We have Lynette Mwaniki. We have Angela from Uganda. And of course, Crystal Wangeshi. Thank you so much, Momo, for your help. Okay, so we have Jason, please, if you don't mind. We have me Vapoli. Okay, so we have Bansi. Is Bansi in the house? Yes. We have Esther Maya. We have John Dashuri. And then we have Anna Maya. Anna? Okay. Maria, sorry. What else? Maya. Of course, and thank you, Jason. So this is the last one. Casioka Macau. Casioka Macau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So she's not here. Purity Atieno. Interesting fact. This is the only other female duo, well, other than me, Aponti, who've actually graduated from Bitcoin Dada. How ironic. Okay, so we have Noli. Well, no, Noli, sit down. Gwenta, sit down. Who do we have? Oh, Felix! Oh my God, Felix, sorry. We have Maren. Is it Maren? She's not here. Okay. Caro, Safari. We have Catherine Karimi. No, she's not here. We have Lucy Minor. Lucy Minor. And then we have Josie Gagoni. Wow. All right. Thank you so much, Felix. And then now we have the last four, right? So, thank you so much. A big congratulations to all of you for actually topping this class. So we have Nolin, we have who else? We have Wentai. Oh, Vlad. Where's Vlad? Vlad is not here. Can someone get Vlad for me? And of course we have myself. So okay. So another pledge, we have 5K sats for each. From Mumo. This is why you should come to the Bitcoin ecosystem. Money. Sad. Okay, so where is Vlad? Vlad. Yeah. So Edith gets a t-shirt, a certificate, and of course a hardware wallet from BTC Dada. May you continue to store your sites, self-custody, and also teach. I hope you use this particular hardware wallet to actually teach and train others, since you already have one. So, congratulations, and I'm so proud of you. So, we have Mir. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this is also, where's Vlad? Vlad Safadali, thank you so much, Guntai. So we have number 3, who is Mary. Mary gets to go home with a seat signer. A t-shirt from Gwentai, a seat signer from Gwentai, a t-shirt, and of course her certificate, and a t-shirt from Bitcoin Dada.
Wow.
I hope you pass on the information and also, you know, yeah, so take photos. Why do you look like you are afraid of each other?
Take a photo. Take a photo.
That is shy.
Take a photo.
Look at me. Thank you so much, Vlad. We have some Dailash, right? Yeah. So Noli, please, will you do us the honors?
Wow.
Wait. I have the right to tax them. 10% tax on the site. Okay, 10K starts from Noli.
Wow.
Then 4. Right? We should say that loud. I love my children. Did you ever join my class? Oh my God! Gwentai wants to give this personally.
This personal.
Well, so she's aware for them. I have proof of laws. She come up in Congratulations.
Yes, more views. Yes.
Could you tell us what you're giving her?
Basically, I'm giving her a cold card hardware. So she can show her own keys as the song for Bitcoin Dada.
Yes.
And then she has her own shop signer, so you can pay on the road. And then from me to you, one t-shirt from 10-1.
Mommy, congratulations. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us in this celebration. Is that it? Master of ceremony? Yeah, okay. Asante sana and congratulations to my students, and we hope to see others graduate next year.
Wow.
Guys, the way you appreciate it's now, come on, let's grab your students now. But Marcel, you better clap, so please appreciate yourself for that. Having 28 students graduating, when you get there, come to us.